I first met her under circumstances I will never forget. I was barely 18, part of a human trade delegation to the remote mining colony of Jera Prime, a planet barely hospitable to life, with jagged red mountains and skies choked by fine metallic dust. Our mission was routine: survey potential mineral deposits and assess local alien settlements. But nothing about that day would remain ordinary. That was when I noticed her. Small, human-shaped, but with subtle differences. Slightly elongated limbs, a faint iridescent glow to her skin, and eyes that reflected the violet sun in a way humans never could. She was watching me from the edge of the settlement, hidden behind a crumbling wall of concrete and scrap, her hands clasped nervously in front of her. When our eyes met, she flinched and whispered something in a language I didn't understand, yet somehow the meaning passed through anyway. Curiosity, excitement, and an unmistakable recognition. Over the next few days, I discovered that she was an alien, yet one of a kind. One of the few who had learned to mimic human speech and behavior. Raised in a small community that mistrusted outsiders, she approached slowly, cautiously, and when she finally addressed me in broken English, her voice trembled with awe. "My mom. She won't stop talking about you." Human. I froze, unsure how to respond, and in that moment, the world shifted. The notion of being observed, studied, and discussed by an alien culture sank into me in a way that both frightened and exhilarated me. I would soon learn that her mother, the matriarch of her species' settlement, had been tracking human activity for decades, fascinated by our adaptability, our resilience, and our unpredictable creativity. To them, humans were both primitive and astonishing, fragile yet capable of feats no one else could imagine. That first whispered sentence marked the beginning of an improbable friendship that would shape my understanding of interstellar relations, diplomacy, and the fragile bridge between species. For the next several weeks, I spent every waking moment with her, learning about her culture, her habits, and the subtle ways her people had observed humanity from afar. Her mother, a dignified figure of authority, had been sending detailed reports on human behavior, our resourcefulness, our stubbornness, our capacity for empathy and problem-solving. According to the girl, her mother had singled me out, not for my physical strength or technical skill, but because I had acted with integrity and caution during our first encounter, traits that she believed were rare and admirable among humans. The girl's fascination was not simple childish curiosity, it was awe, almost reverence, for a species that could, in the right hands, move mountains, tame wild planets, and endure environments that even her people deemed inhospitable. My own disbelief at being scrutinized and admired on such a scale transformed into a sense of responsibility. I realized that every action I took, every decision, could ripple across the perceptions of her species, potentially altering relations between humans and an entire alien culture. Our days became an endless exchange of lessons, laughter, and silent observation. She showed me the hidden corners of the settlement, bioluminescent gardens grown from local flora, energy conduits that powered entire neighborhoods, and hidden archives detailing centuries of contact, both real and theoretical, with humanity. I listened, learned, and shared stories of Earth, of our culture, our triumphs and failures, and the unyielding curiosity that had driven humans to explore stars, oceans, and now distant planets. The girl was a patient pupil, absorbing every detail with wide-eyed wonder, often repeating phrases she had overheard from her mother's reports. "Humans, so clever," she said one day, tracing a finger over a schematic of a mining rig I had helped inspect. "My mom, she won't stop talking about you." At first, I took the words lightly, almost humorously, imagining some maternal fascination akin to human pride. But as days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, I began to realize that her mother's admiration, and the girl's repeated utterances, represented something deeper. Humans were no longer merely observers in this galaxy. We were participants, capable of influencing outcomes, shaping perception, and, in subtle ways, commanding respect from civilizations far older and more technologically advanced than ours. The settlement itself became a crucible for understanding alien psychology. The girl's mother, a leader with strategic insight, had cultivated an environment where observation, adaptability, and judgment were valued above all. I was repeatedly tested, not with overt challenges, but through subtle scenarios designed to gauge how I would react under pressure. One evening, she instructed the girl to lead me through a maze of bioengineered tunnels, some of which contained simulated hazards designed to mimic environmental dangers her species had encountered on other planets. I navigated these trials using only my wits, drawing on training I had received on Earth and improvising with tools provided by the settlement. When I emerged unscathed, the girl's eyes shone with pride, and she whispered, almost reverently, "My mom. She won't stop talking about you, human." I realized then that my success was symbolic. My ability to adapt, reason, and survive reflected not just on me, but on humanity as a whole, and that her mother's fascination was the acknowledgement of our species' potential in the galaxy. As months progressed, my relationship with the girl deepened. She became my translator, my guide, and, unexpectedly, my friend. Her understanding of human behavior, though filtered through her mother's reports and her own observations, allowed me to navigate cultural nuances and alien social structures with surprising ease. We would spend long hours discussing ethics, leadership, and the delicate balance of power. One afternoon, while observing a rare solar alignment over the settlement's crystalline spires, she confided that her mother had been lobbying other factions to take humans seriously, arguing that our unpredictability was a strategic advantage in interstellar politics. Her whispered words, repeated with excitement, became a mantra. "My mom. She won't stop talking about you." It was a statement of recognition, yes, but also a call to responsibility. Every decision I made now carried weight beyond my comprehension. I also began to witness firsthand the subtle political maneuvers of her mother's administration. The Alien Council had long debated whether humans should be considered potential allies, neutral parties, or threats. My presence, guided and scrutinized through the girl's insights, tipped the scales. In meetings I could barely follow, council members referenced reports highlighting human ingenuity, compassion, and adaptability. "If this human succeeds here," one alien elder whispered, "it may shift the balance of interspecies cooperation." The girl, always beside me, would grin and murmur, "My mom. She won't stop talking about you," reminding me that my actions resonated far beyond our immediate surroundings. It became clear that my time with her was not merely educational. It was a subtle form of diplomacy, a bridge between species built on observation, trust, and action. Danger was never absent. Raiders, rival alien factions, and environmental hazards constantly threatened the settlement. Yet I survived, not by force alone, but by applying lessons from Earth, improvising, and respecting the patterns I observed in her society. The girl became my anchor, relaying warnings, clarifying intentions, and often guiding me through situations where misunderstanding could have been fatal. One particular incident involved a malfunctioning energy conduit in the settlement's central hub. A cascade failure could have incinerated entire sectors. While trained technicians hesitated, the girl led me to the source, and together we devised a makeshift containment procedure. The elders later cited the incident as a pivotal moment, demonstrating human resourcefulness. And through it all, she whispered her phrase, a reminder of both admiration and expectation. "My mom. She won't stop talking about you, human." Eventually, the day came when my role had to change. Her mother summoned me to the council chambers, a place of immense authority and ritual. Alien dignitaries from across multiple systems observed silently as she addressed me. Her tone was both formal and weighty. Humans are now recognized as participants in galactic affairs, and I, by virtue of years under her daughter's observation, had demonstrated qualities rare among our species. I had not only survived but excelled, proving adaptability, intelligence, and moral judgment under pressure. When I left the chambers, the girl smiled and whispered once more, "My mom. She won't stop talking about you, human." By then, I understood that her words were not idle flattery. They were a recognition of responsibility, a mantle of expectation, and a bridge between worlds. Over the following years, I became an informal ambassador of sorts, traveling between human and alien settlements, leveraging skills honed under her daughter's tutelage. Reports of my actions spread, sometimes amplified, sometimes distorted, but always tied back to the initial mentorship. I carried the weight of her mother's assessment, the whispered mantra of the girl, and the lessons of survival and diplomacy that had defined my formative years on Jera Prime. And every time I encountered young aliens or humans seeking guidance, the memory of her voice remained, reminding me of the fragile but transformative power of trust, education, and observation. My mom, she won't stop talking about you, human. Ultimately, my experience with her and her mother changed the way I understood interspecies relations, diplomacy, and the galaxy itself. It was not mere luck or coincidence that I survived, or that I became a figure of minor renown across multiple systems. It was preparation, mentorship, and the unique bridge provided by a young alien girl who whispered secrets of recognition and admiration, shaping my destiny. Even now, as I recount these events to new generations of humans entering interstellar trade and exploration, I tell them that our influence is amplified when we act with integrity, courage, and adaptability. And always, the memory of a small voice, whispering in awe and respect, echoes through the corridors of my mind. My mom, she won't stop talking about you, human. It is a reminder of potential realized, trust honored, and a bridge built across the stars between species that once might have overlooked one another. That whisper, that simple line repeated countless times over 3 years, became a symbol of everything humans could aspire to be: resilient, intelligent, empathetic, and capable of altering the perceptions of an entire civilization. It was not just about survival. It was about legacy, impact, and the understanding that even in a galaxy teeming with ancient, powerful, and technologically advanced species, one human could stand out, could be admired, and could carry the potential for transformative influence. The lessons I learned under her guidance remain with me in every challenge I face, in every negotiation, every skirmish, every moment where trust, skill, and judgment must prevail. And in the quiet spaces between action, when stars streak across blackened skies, I can still hear that whispered phrase, a reminder of mentorship, faith, and the extraordinary potential of humanity. My mom, she won't stop talking about you, human. It is not hyperbole to say that the galaxy itself took note of my existence because of those 3 years, because of the mentorship, guidance, and trust invested in me by a species that viewed humans as curious, unpredictable, and capable of greatness. And though the alien girl who whispered those words may remain forever a child in my memory, her influence, her mother's foresight, and the lessons encoded in those years continue to shape how I approach challenges, opportunities, and the vast unknowns of interstellar life. Humans, I realized, are not insignificant. We are catalysts. And through the guidance of a small, observant alien girl, I learned how to wield that potential responsibly, with courage, strategy, and vision that can influence entire worlds.